I'm trying to include the house down there. The shot has a little bit more room to breathe from back here, and with the wide angle lens I'm trying to maximize the contrast between the trunks of the trees and the background. So maybe by going lower. All right. It is absolutely beautiful out here, so this is what we are going to be doing for the next few hours, just walking around looking for more images around town, hopefully visiting new spots and hopefully making new images. So let's do it. Even though I've been wanting to go to other places, other locations, as I always say, you can't fight the conditions, you can't fight the light, and if I have to choose between this fog, even when it's at the same place over and over, and sunny and clear weather, where I'll choose the fog any day. I really wanted to get that danger sign, but I don't like the way those posts, whatever you want to call it, overlap with the power lines. So maybe that can't happen. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I think this is better. It's too bad about the sign. So there are a lot of lines happening in this image. I like that. It adds a lot of movement across the frame. Down here, these lines converge here, and then we go up on the power lines, and then we go out of the frame there. So that's a cool one. I have to show you because I have quite the setup today. So I have the GoPro mounted on top of my camera. I have the microphone there too. So that's how I get the shots of what I have in front of me. Of course, I take the photos with my camera. And here I have my compact camera recording the screen of the camera. And I have the cable that goes to the lavalier mic that I have on me to record my voice. So yeah, this is pretty heavier than it might look, but it is much better, much more convenient than actually carrying a tripod around and recording myself. I've got some looks this morning. People don't really understand what's going on, what is that I'm doing, but I like it. I'm now trying to get a photo here of that fence and the trees in the background. I think it looks kind of cool. I have this other fence here in the foreground that I can't really avoid because, again, I don't really have much room to move here. I can step a little bit, but I still got the fence as I thought. Anyway, I think this could be cool here by getting the fence as a leading line to the trees in the background, something like that, and yeah, the fence in the back, in the foreground, I just have to embrace it. Kind of adds a little bit more to the mood of a fenced forest. Not the best image ever, but I think it works. I might have to do a few things in post to darken here. So that's the square image. So I will definitely want to darken this corner here on the bottom left to focus the attention towards the actual fence and the trees. I'm gonna try now to get that building, farm, whatever that is. There is a horse there grazing in the field. I don't know if I can find a good composition here. I don't love the foreground, and the horse is too far away. All right, I'm gonna leave it because I don't love it, but you gotta try, and yeah, trying to change the lenses with all of this setup. It's not easy either. Haven't broken anything yet, so that's good news. Just because I'm using the wide angle lens now, so that makes the road look a little bit longer because the background, you know, looks smaller, and that is making the power line a little bit smaller too, even though now we have more in the frame because of course a wider lens. I was just looking for an element to balance that power line on the right. I was looking for something on the left. I have this width here, that will do. So something like this, because I'm pointing down, the camera is trying to compensate the exposure, so everything in the road and the shoulder here looks good, but I don't want that. I want it dark, I want it black almost. So that's why I'm underexposing almost 2 stops now. I think that's about right. So something like that. Gonna check this gate out. There's not much going on here. I am fascinated by gates like this one because you know, there is nothing here, but everything, most fields have a fence and most fields have a gate. And of course, no one has come to these places in a long time, and you know, the vegetation here, it's all overgrown. It's a gate that is in very good condition. It almost looks brand new. Well, not quite, but I mean, you know, it looks pretty good. That could make for very interesting images, even though I haven't been able to find one that I really like. See, this is another example of a gate. It has 2 locks actually, just to make sure that you don't get in there. This one looks pretty horrible, at least in black and white. It could look better in color because, you know, the fence is green and all the weeds behind it are kind of brownish, so it would look better in color, but in black and white, as you might be able to see on the screen, there is no contrast whatsoever between the gate and the background. I enjoy walking around here and looking for images that are less obvious. This is what photography is for me most of the time. Photography is something I really want to embrace as often as I can. It's part of my life, it's my lifestyle. Here, what I'm trying to do, you might be able to see that there is a house. These are not houses. This is a structure. Who knows if it's being used for anything or has been just abandoned. But so I'm gonna try to place that at the very bottom of the frame. Luckily, the windows are shut and they are white, so you should be able to see it. The viewer should be able to see it even when the structure is very small on the frame. So I'm gonna put it there on the bottom left. The road is gonna help a little bit leading to there, and then that tree there too. Those are the 3 things that I want to capture in the bottom left. And now for the rest of the frame, I'm gonna capture this tree here. I think this could make for a very good image. I know. As I said, what I liked about this image was the bottom left part, so I don't know if the tree is gonna work, but we'll see. There's another gate here, again with a lock. This is absolutely gorgeous, but there is nothing here to photograph. It's just empty field after empty field or very busy, chaotic forests. But still, it is incredible to be out here and to be walking in these conditions. I'm gonna keep going. I still have a long way to go. This is a new path for me, a new road for me, so I wanted to check it out to see if there was anything here worth seeing and capturing. Unfortunately, I'm not finding much, but again, this is what it's about. It's just adventuring and exploring as much as we can. There's not much here, but I'm trying to capture the canal water thingy. That's a cool leading line. I could go with this, just trying to focus on the canal, but I'm trying to include the road as well, because otherwise it could feel a little bit weird. You can see that on the frame, but I'm kind of just ignoring it. So by embracing the road, what I'm trying to do is to have on the right half of the frame the canal and the trees, and the left half of the frame empty, and hopefully the road helps guiding the viewer through the image. I'm gonna have to do something like that, and of course this is the shot. I'll have to play with this in post, and I'm gonna have to darken this part of the image again to guide the eyes in this direction, so it goes to the end of the frame. There is really nothing there to see, but it's a way to navigate through the image, through the frame, and to make it more interesting. Nah, doesn't work either. That's too bad. I'm gonna check out that structure at the end of this path. So even though I do try to go out and make images every day, of course, I try to increase my chances of getting good images by choosing the time and the location accordingly. So, for example, this is what I'm doing today here. I am in town because I knew the chances of fog were pretty high, and I know that fog works pretty well here, while if I went to other location today, well, the conditions couldn't be that good because of the sunny and clear weather I was talking about. So of course, I don't get out aimlessly. I try to plan my week ahead of time. So I check, of course, the weather, the forecast, and the locations I want to go to, and then I choose accordingly. So we are almost back to civilization, as you can tell by the power lines. Trying to, get in here to photograph that sign. It's actually how I started this video, kind of trying to photograph one of these. All right, so hopefully photographing that sign plus the power line there in the background. I would like to be way closer, but this is pretty hard here. Don't have much room to move, plus this setup is not really helping. I'm trying to make that these lines here, the post, as straight as possible. I can always play with that in post with the perspective. I'm just gonna try to take just one more step. I don't really want to fall down there. That would be pretty bad. I know it might not look like much on the camera. It's not about the fall itself, it's about the weeds. That would hurt a lot. All right. Again, not a great image, but we are trying, and you know, it's good training. It's good training for your brain, it's good training for your eyes. Photography requires practice as well, and also it's good for us to be outside. We are walking and moving, so that's all good. It is said that Joseph Kudelka, by the way, Kudelka is one of my favorite photographers ever. He has amazing work. I have one of his books. I don't remember the name. It's not Gypsies. It's the one with the dog on the cover. That's one of my favorite images by any photographer. And by the way, I need a wide angle for that. But yeah, he forces himself to shoot every day, and now he shoots with a digital camera, so I guess it's different. But back in the day, he forced himself to shoot 3 rolls of 35mm film every day, and that is 36 each. That's 108 photos. So that's quite a few shots every day, but he said that that helped him to keep his eyes and mind sharp. And I can see why. I can see why he does it. I can see how that helps him. I try to follow a very similar approach, not 100 images every day, but as many as I can. I don't know how many I've taken this morning. I mean, the number doesn't really matter. What matters is that we try to find images, we try to make compositions. So we are learning as much as we can, and we are getting better every day, a little bit every day. And on the way, we can make some good images, hopefully. Here, again, more power lines is the only subject I found so far around here, but I'm using the road, the path that you can see there, and the canal again with the water as leading lines. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, let me check the shot. Yeah, so this is gonna be the square. I might want to darken again this corner, but not as much. I might want to preserve and keep that line, on the road as bright as possible. So maybe we can do something there. Anything we can do in order to, again, guide the viewer in that direction. That right there, it's a good example of a beautiful tree in the wrong spot. Sadly, it doesn't make for a good photo because of the background. But what a beautiful tree. Maybe if I got closer, but there is a barbed fence there, so I can't. Maybe with a little bit more of fog. So maybe something to write down, and maybe something to take a note about. Maybe a spot to revisit on a different day. This could be cool. So I've been trying to make an image with that house because it looks very cool. Mainly because it's white and it stands out, and in the dark background. But it doesn't work by itself, as you can see here. Don't really love it. So I was looking for something to put, in the very foreground of the image with that house in the foreground and the background. Maybe I might have found something. Of course, I'm shooting as wide as I can with this lens, focusing on the foreground on the sand, so the house doesn't have as much detail. Enough. Now I'm going to try to include some of these sticks, if you will, or these posts. I have no idea what this is. I guess this was meant for a fence. I know. I don't even understand why there is these couple walls there. It looks like he's missing a gate, but I mean, this is a public path, so I don't understand what's going on here. But one option is to create different layers here. So this post would be one layer, the pile of sand would be the second layer, and the house on the foggy hill in the background would be the third layer. So I can do that by focusing here. So the only thing is that the pile of sand is not very clear because it's against the background. So maybe getting lower. See, now the pile of sand kind of sticks out from the background. Hopefully I'm able to show that. Something like this. All right. I think I need to get farther away. The stick is too big in the frame, so by getting farther away I can zoom in, make the elements in the background a little bit bigger. Again, focusing on the foreground on the stick, so those 3 layers, good transition. I think this could be my best option here. I like this composition with the stick in the middle, so we will go from the stick to the sand and then to the other side of the frame, the house. That's a cool sign. I want to get the post of the power line there too in the background. The foreground is a little bit distracting, so I'm gonna darken the foreground coming from this direction for sure. But I like it. I'm running out of batteries. So, I did. Okay, we are back. Well, that's it. Again, this is it's a pretty busy street, so I'm gonna get out of here. This is the more industrial part of town, so I might be able to find some big warehouses and stuff like that that look good. It's not that foggy anymore. It depends on where you look at. Like, it's foggier on this side than it is on here, but still the atmosphere is there. It is pretty cool. I still like it, so I think there are still a few images to be made. This sign here looks pretty cool, and this is a pretty cool field too. And there is actually a big bull. I think it is a bull at the other side. Yeah, it is a bull. It is very big. A couple shots from different angles. You probably can hear all that noise coming from the warehouses. It's kind of annoying. It's not as peaceful here. So I've decided not to go there, not to go towards the warehouses. I instead just follow this path here. I think it will lead to much better, more beautiful themes. Right, that tree looks kind of cool there. Let's see if I can get a good composition from here. So hopefully you can see there's this cable that is electrified. That is for the bull, I imagine. So I can't really touch that. You can't also avoid it for my composition. So that is I think that if I'm careful enough and I make it so it doesn't overlap with any other elements, that is very easy to remove in post. So I can actually ignore it again as long as it doesn't touch any of the other elements. That could be cool. I like it. There's another tree though there that I could use, but I think I like the other one more. I'm gonna take this one too, just in case, because again, I can't use the viewfinder because of this setup. It's kind of hard for me to tell if I'm missing other things in the frame and things like that shouldn't be there. Alright, so I'm gonna call it a video here. I've been out for quite a while now, almost 4 hours doing photography. I'm gonna head back home and make myself a warm cup of tea. I didn't make as many images as I was hoping to make this morning, but I still had a great time. And hey, maybe some of those images will work out better than I think. But I hope the video was entertaining and that you got something from it. If that was the case, please consider giving it a thumbs up or a like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one. This is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.